What I love about doing these feeders, and I can do it on two sides, is, you know, you always have your dominant and your submissive deer. And on just that one-sided feeder, you tend to only get the dominant deer eating. And this two-sided feeder, it really does allow your submissive deer to have a chance to eat. Especially as we get a little bit later in the season and you really start seeing these dominant or these bachelor groups start to form. And even though they want to be together and they're going to stay together, they're going to hang out together, there's still dominance. And the dominant buck is going to control the feed. Dominant doe the same way. But the submissive deer is not going to leave. He still wants to stay with the group. But oftentimes, if the feeding side has a minimal eating ports or minimal approach to it, the submissive deer would just kind of stand off here out in the bushes, because he gets in here too close. Then that's a lot of times on camera, you'll see them fighting, even during the summer. But a lot of times, though, if you kind of open up a secondary site where dominant deer feels like he's over here, submissive deer can kind of slip in and get him something to eat, because the reality is though the submissive deer probably wants to eat and he needs to eat, when that dominant deer leaves, he's going with him. They're going to stay in those bachelor groups. And this is why that's so important to me, is because the submissive deer does not mean they're genetically insuperior, right? Like, just because a deer is dominant doesn't mean he's the real genetic guy out there. He could just be the oldest deer. And oftentimes the bully of the group is actually the deer that you kind of want to get out of there, because they're old. Usually they're on the down slope of their antler. And there's a young, really nice, beautiful deer that often kind of gets pushed to the side, and it just delays their growth throughout the year. All right, so we're putting out a new mineral site. We got a new mineral. It's coming out. We'll talk more about that later. But this is the perfect time of year to put these out. The temperature is really starting to rise, and that's when you'll start seeing these deer start hammering it. So we got a cool new little toy here that I saw, and I was just intrigued. Look, a shovel will do great, but the key to this type mineral is we're going to break the ground up and pour the mineral down, and then kind of mix it all back in, because the key to a lot of these minerals is the deer really can utilize them better once they dissolve. And so I like to get it in the soil and get it going. But if you just poured it out, the deer would come to it, especially because a lot of times a lot of minerals, including ours, has a nice flavor to it that is part of the attraction to it. But we're going to take our new little device called the Weasel Claw Pro. The Weasel Claw Pro. It's like a little gardener cultivator, but I was messing with it, and it did a really great job breaking up the ground pretty easily, and then we can mix it back in. So we'll show you guys, but we found us a good spot right here, I think, where it'd be a good space for a mineral. And I see some rubs right there anyways. So
that's a bonus.
All right, let's get this going. And just gonna pull it up. And all we're doing is just gonna try to break that soil up so that there's still some in it. Let's make an area kind of like this big. Come on.
You do better.
Get in there, dude. Look at that big old hole. Look at that dirt I'm pushing up right there.
Soft stuff.
Oh, come on.
I got it started.
It's called man muscles, man.
No, I got it started.
Probably gonna have deer on it pretty quick. Especially every day it gets hotter and hotter. This is the good stuff they're looking for. Yep.
The smell is immaculate.
Some people put hundreds of pounds on a new site. Some people put 10 pounds. We're gonna end up putting about 30 pounds of mineral on this site. There's no right or wrong. If you've never introduced minerals to your property, I would go a little heavy the first time, because you're trying to get things established on it. Let's do about half that bag.
Okay.
Trying to get things established, but if you have existing mineral sites, a 1 bagger would be great. 2, which with this product that would be about 40 pounds. They're 20-pound bags. But again, don't overthink it. Just find some minerals and get them out there. You can use a shovel to break it up. You can pour it in a pile. You can use our new little handy dandy tool, the Weasel Claw Pro. That's a hard word to say, Claw Pro. That's a little bit more than half the bag, dude. There's no right or wrong. Now, here's the cool thing about these mineral sites. It's not a must, but it's pretty important. I don't know if you can see, we'll walk over there. You see that little, through the woods there, creek? Let's see, let's walk in here. Let's walk right here. See, there's a creek right there. Hopefully you can see that. So, water is not a must for mineral sites, but it definitely improves the situation. So, we like to put mineral sites near our feeding sites. And if you could have like the trifecta, which we didn't show you this, but this is kind of off of a green field that has a feeding site, and it's got this creek running right here. It's perfect. Food, minerals, water. The water is important, not only for the deer, but water and minerals kind of go hand in hand. So in this situation, we found this little creek. We think this is going to be a really, really, really good mineral site moving forward. So come on, rookie. You're such a lightweight.
I'm doing better.
All right. There's no right or wrong. Most people stopped feeding their deer long ago because hunting season's over. But I promise you guys, if you will invest something in the March, April, May months of the year from a nutrition standpoint, whether it is feed or minerals, we'll have both here. And remember, we talked about in another video, the magic water. Water, minerals, food, game changer in the realm of growing bigger, better, healthier deer. Rookie guy is a rookie as I've never seen. There's no right or wrong.